ॐ तवकथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविविदीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भूरिगृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः. O Lord, your nectar-like words relieve the burning misery of afflicted souls. Your words, which poets have sung in verses, destroy the sins of worldly people forever. Blessed are they who hear of your vast glory. Blessed indeed are those who speak of you. How unparalleled is their bounty. We are going to study chapter 35 at the Star Theatre. This is the second part of the Star Theatre. Because Sri Ramakrishna used to visit Star Theatre, whose proprietor was Girish Chandra Ghosh, the dramatic and who used to write and act the dramas. And he was a great devotee of Sri Ramakrishna. And Sri Ramakrishna used to praise the faith of Girish. If people had 100% faith, he had 125% faith. Such was his greatness. With all his, limitations as a human being would have, Rajasic, Tamasic, but he had Tamasic devotion. Sri Ramakrishna says Tamasic devotion is very strong devotion, doesn't care for anything. Go loot. If God doesn't give devotion, he's ready to slap God. So that's the type of devotion the Tamasic devotees have. In one way, it is good. It's an example of extreme devotion. I want means I want it. Doesn't care whether I'm fit or not. I want and you have to give me. That's the power of Tamasic devotion. Anyway, Sri Ramakrishna used to visit some of the dramas which were acted by or written by Girish. So he has come today, Sunday, 24th, 1884. Sri Ramakrishna arrived at the Star Theatre on Bidden Street in Calcutta to see the play about the life of Prahalada. Later on, we'll come to it. M. Baburam, Narayan, and other devotees were with him. The hall was brightly lighted. This was before electricity could come. The play had not yet begun. The master was seated in a box, talking with Girish, the proprietor. Girish, master, smiling. Ah, you have written nice plays. Girish, sir. But sir, how little I assimilate. I just write. Master, no, you assimilate a great deal. The other day I said to you that no one could sketch a divine character unless he had love of God in his heart. It's hard for anyone to depict a character of such style until and unless one feels the devotion for God. Only a devotee can understand what God is. So hence he can. Ordinary people can't do. Even about this Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, it was written in Bengali, to be translated. Some professor of the Calcutta University offered M to translate. M said, no, it can't be translated. Language is not the criterion of this book. You have to know what it is. You have to feel. You yourself have to be a spiritual aspirant in order to grasp the subject. So just proficiency in language won't do. See, later on it was translated by one of the sadhaka, the Swami Nikhilananda translated it. So it needs a great deal of spiritual practice and the mind, a different type, sort of mind to understand and to write or anything, even for translation. Hence, Sri Ramakrishna says, you have the devotion. That's why you could sketch the character, divine characters. Yes, one needs to assimilate spiritual ideas. I went to Keshav's house to see the play in our Vrindavan. I saw a deputy magistrate who earned 800 rupees a month, those days, big salary. Everyone said that he was very learned man. But I found him restless because of a boy, his son. He was very anxious to find a good seat for the boy. He paid no attention to the spiritual conversation of the players. The boy was pestering him with questions. Father, what is this? What is that? The child is again constantly he's busy with the child. And such a wonderful drama is going on, a divine play. All the conversations are highly philosophical, devotional characters are there. He's least interested. He's busy with the boy. He was extremely busy with the boy. You see, he merely read books, but he didn't assimilate their ideas. Girish, I often ask myself, why bother about the theater anymore? Master, no, let things be as they are. People will learn much from your plays. So we need to cater to different type of people. People who can hear long lectures, even if it's a boring lectures, they do listen. Something they might get. With this intention, they do spend their precious time and listen. But all are not. People will sleep, or people will say the same thing Sridharaprana says. Always discrimination, renunciation. Come on. Let's not bother about it. This type of things are also happening. So I see it. Anyway, so, but something done in the form of drama, it attracts. We read Bhagavatam. Krishna's life, how many times I have read. But I never realized that the little Krishna's divine play would be so interesting. When I saw this little Krishna, the lamination, I was surprised. How many things these people can add to it. The little boy, Krishna, he's just walking on the wall. So we do read, Krishna said this, but we didn't know how a village child would play. They don't need toys and things like us. If we want to keep our kids busy, we need to bring a lot of toys and all that fill the room. But these kids just played out. And how they play, all that, it was so nice depicted. I said, when we do read Bhagavatam, but we never realized that this type of things, there are subtle things. So when you do dramatize something, it comes out very well. And that will be very good for some people. So that's what Sri Ramakrishna says, you cater to the needs of some people. So it's good you have all this. The performance began. Prahalada was seen entering the schoolroom as a student. At the sight of him, Sri Ramakrishna uttered once or twice the word Prahalada, Prahalada, and went into Samadhi. During another scene, Sri Ramakrishna wept to see Prahalada under an elephant's feet. He cried when the boy was thrown into fire. The scene changed. Lakshmi Narayana were seated in the Goloka. Narayana was worried about Prahlada. This scene, too, threw Sri Ramakrishna into an ecstatic mood. M has not completely dealt with this, but I would love to speak about Prahlada, even if you are not interested much about it, but I love. This is the only chance for me to speak about Bhagavatam. We usually don't speak. When Bhagavatam means Sri Krishna's life, we finish it. Bhagavatam has wonderful things. And we have in Bhagavatam 2 kids. One is Prahalada and is Dhruva. Both are kids, 5 years old. They have exhibited great devotion to God in their lives. Among that, Sri Ramakrishna says, Prahalada's devotion was pure, absolutely without any, want. But Dhruva had a bit of want. There was a desire. Desire at least to be loved by father, which is not something wrong, and indirectly the kingdom. But whereas Prahalada absolutely nothing in his mind. Only God and God, nothing else. So, and Prahlada's devotion was based on knowledge. Equally, this great book, Bhagavatam, it teaches knowledge and devotion, shows that ultimately knowledge and devotion are not two different things. Love and knowledge are one and the same, are the two aspects of the same coin. He who has knowledge has great devotion, and they who have devotion have knowledge. Knowledge that we are part of the divine. Divine is in me. And Sri Ramakrishna used to say, Prahlada, when he used to be in the normal state, he would look upon God as the master, father, and he as a child, as a servant. When he was to be in meditation, he would think that he was a part and God was the full. And he's the part of the God, the spark of the divine. But when his mind completely merged, absolutely, when it merged in him, he knew that there was absolutely no difference between him and God. Now, Krishna is I is Krishna. God is I am God. Like this type of. So Bhagavatam extols this type of devotion. Distinction without difference. There's a distinction. You keep a distance. I-thou relationship is there, but there is no difference. And absolutely there is no difference. But their difference is only at a relative. To enjoy the divinity, divine bliss. For that, they keep their individuality. That individuality is harmless. Later on, Sri Ramakrishna speaks about it. It so happened that in the highest heaven, what in the Hinduism calls Vaikunta, Vaikunta place where there is no punta, means there is no flaw, absolutely no flaw, a state, a place. There, the gods of the heaven, by name Jaya and Vijaya, were there. And there are 4 sages called as Kumaras. They are eternally kids, children, like toddlers, almost like toddlers. They're eternally like that. They are Paramahamsas. They are wise men. So they came to Vaikunta to have an audience with the Lord. And they were kids, so they were nude, naked. And these 2 fellows, suddenly they started making fun of them. They were surprised. Vaikunta is a place where there is absolutely no flaw. Here minds are so sattvic. And from where did this type of ideas came to your head, mind? You're not fit to be in this heaven. Go back to the earth, learn your lessons and come. So they cursed these 2 fellows. So they repented. They felt very bad. Oh, what a big mistake we made in insulting devotees of God. So they ran to God himself, Narayana, what they call Vishnu, and they apologized and begged his pardon. The Lord said, I am helpless. You have offended my devotees who have completely taken refuge in me. They're almost like me. You have made, so I can't help you. But since you too are devotees, I can make an amendment. If you want, go and live, take 7 births on the earth and come back to my realm. Or as a devotee of God. Or as an enemy, you can go in three rounds, you can finish it off. And so they said, we don't mind becoming your enemies, but we want to come back as early as possible to this realm. So we don't mind being born as your enemies. So 3 times they have to be born. So they were thrown out from heaven to earth. So earth is the place where we can rectify our errors and overcome our limitations and get back our wisdom. This is the only place. And other heavens are only for enjoyment. Earth is karma bhumi. You work. So in Vedanta or Hinduism, there is no eternal hell. So any mistake you do, you go into it, work out your, when as soon as the effect of the karma is finished, come back to earth. This is the place where you can learn. We come and we do exercise and learn, get strengthened. And then we attain our true nature. That is the greatness and blessedness of being born on this earth. So they came back. So the first round was Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu. These were the two demons. And then the second round was Kumbhakarna and Ravana. The third round was Shishupala and Dantavakra. That comes in Krishna's avatar, right? Krishna kills them. This one, Ramayana, was Kumbhakarna and Ravana was killed by Sri Rama. And this one, Vishnu himself killed Hiranyaksha. That is Hiranyakashipu's brother. So this demon, Hiranyakashipu, remember, Hiranyakashipu was very angry. He wanted to avenge the death of his brother, but he knew that he didn't have enough strength. So all he could do was oppressed the gods, good people on the earth, and brought everybody under his control. But still he hasn't got enough strength to fight Narayana himself or Vishnu himself. So he thought, when he was operating, the divinities, rishis, great people went to God and prayed, please save us from this fellow. He said, no, till Hiranyakashipu gets a son and torments him, then only I can come. Till then you have to put up, but I'm sure I'll be coming. So that was the promise given by God. So this went back and they were waiting for that auspicious time when Hiranyakashipu would get a son. In the meantime, this demon thought, I don't have enough strength to fight Narayana, so I will have to acquire. I have to become immune to all sorts of death by the hands of animals or weapons or whatever it. So he went to do austerity. When he went to do austerity, the good people, these gods, they immediately came and took back all the kingdom which this demon had taken away. And such is the evil-mindedness of this Indra. He even took captive the wife of this demon and took her. He's taking back to heaven. And she was a poor lady, she was pregnant. And Narada, the great rishi, came. He saw. He said, what are you doing? You're taking the wife of another man. Give her. She is the one who is having the Lord's devotee in her womb, who is ultimately going to redeem you from this Rakshasa. And you want to give her immediately. Indra left her, prostrated. The divine boy, child devotee who is in her womb, circumambulated her and went away. So Narada brought her to his ashram, looked after her. Every day he would speak to her, talk to her about God. Why? The child in the womb he was educating it. And he initiated the child in the womb itself. So there's a saying that children acquire qualities from the mother, even in the womb. If the mother gives good ideas, good thoughts, the child will acquire even in the womb. This is what is the tradition in our culture. That is why when the women are expectant, we don't allow them to see these vulgar movies or anything, not going here and eating all spicy food and all that. Keep them in a very good mood and listen to the talks and all that, so that the child will imbibe good samskaras. That's the idea behind. And then the child was born, and in the meantime, Hiranyakashipu had gone to do penance and take the boon from Brahma. So at last he said, no, I must not die in the hands of man or gods or animals or weapons, daytime or nighttime, inside or outside. All the possibilities he avoided. And then finally, Brahma was pleased, because when you call somebody with so much of devotion and concentration, the effect of the karma has to be answered. Any work will bring its result. The austerities was what was done has to be answered. So, okay, granted. So, imbued with this immune system. So he came, again started oppressing people, and then he was happy to know that he has got a son. So things were going very well, and the boy, as soon as he became little big, he was sent to the teachers to teach all the sciences pertaining to the what do you call kshatriyas, the rulers, and all economics and everything, warfare, all that. And we have got 4 values: dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Don't teach moksha. No. Teach dharma, artha, kama. Dharma a little bit. You see, even demons follow dharma. Amazing, isn't it? Good demons. The dharma. And then artha, earning wealth. How to get the wealth. And kama, how to satisfy your desires. So these are the 3 values: dharma, artha, kama, and then moksha. No question of moksha. No devotion to God. Don't teach all this nonsense. So you teach these things to my son. So he was sent. And well, the child went to school, learned. That's what here Sri Ramakrishna was telling, seeing him in the school. And then after some time, the father wanted to know how the son is progressing. So the teachers brought the child, and as soon as Hiranyakashipu saw Prahalada, his name was Prahalada, boy's name. So he was very happy. He took the boy on his lap, kissed him, and he was very happy to see, because he's a devotee of God. God is in him. It was this divine love which was attracting him, but he didn't know. He only superimposed the attitude of son and father, my son. So he loved him. But actually, it was the divine which was attracting. That's the relationship truly which attracts everybody. It's the divine within. And then, my boy, what did you learn from all this vast knowledge that your teachers have given? What did you learn? So he asked the father. And then the child replies, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam. Hearing about Vishnu, singing about him, remembering him, serving him, worshipping him, saluting him, being his servant, being his comrade, and surrendering oneself, and everything that is one's own to him. These are the 9 aspects of bhakti, or love of God. If a man could be trained to practice devotion characterized by these 9 features, that indeed would be the highest education he could have. That is what I have understood. Look at the boldness of the boy. The father is the dead enemy of Vishnu. And here the boy is telling worship of Vishnu. Sitting on the lap of the father, he is singing the glories of his enemy, father's enemy. Immediately, at first, Hiranyakashipu did that. Child, prattle. Kids do say so many things. We don't. He said, no, my boy, you should never have all this type of things. Then he said, be careful. Don't teach my son all these things. Be careful. First time he ignored. See, this beautiful thing, hearing about this is the very important teaching of Bhagavata for the devotees of God. How do we acquire devotion to God, whom we haven't seen? We have no knowledge about his very existence or anything. Through the saints, sages, we understand that there is a being who is of the nature of existence, consciousness, bliss, who is the ultimate reality, from whom we have come, in whom we live, and unto whom we go back. And our existence on the earth is to understand, to realize this reality. And how do we do it? How do we acquire devotion to God? Hearing, very important. When you see, constantly hearing makes you to think about it. And that's how these advertisements are coming. You hear, oh, 3 times, 4 times, oh, that must be a good product. Then we go and buy. So this is how it happens. So hearing about Vishnu, singing about his glory. So are we bribing God by singing his glories? People praise. If you want to get anything done, then you praise the person, then you will get it. Is that the sake why we praise God? No. When we praise God, when we extol his virtues, what happens is unconsciously these virtues, these ideas sink into our mind. That is the aim, that is the purpose of singing the glories of God. Not that God is very fond of hearing his glory from our mouth. No, we will be blessed and our minds will acquire these ideas: love, devotion, compassion, all these sorts of things. When we start thinking about singing the glory, these ideas go deep into our mind and our minds will get colored. This is the reason why we sing the glories of God. Then remembering him is remembering our own true nature, because we are part and parcel of God. Serving him what? How to serve God? God alone manifests himself as this universe. Serving this universe, serving his beings, caring for the planet, caring for the people, for the less privileged. So we are serving God through him. This is serving him, because God alone has become the beings and the universe. Worshipping him, saluting him, being his servant. And see the beauty, not just servant, being his comrade. There is some sort of common thing between, only then friendship can be there. There can be no friendship between the master and the servant. You can think there is a distance, but when you become friends, you become close. That we create friendship only with people who have some sort of same ideas with us. That means there is no qualitative difference. The comradeship and self-surrender. These are the 9 essential features of bhakti, love of God. And this is how Bhagavatam teaches to practice. These are the sadhanas. The Bhagavatam is teaching through Prahalada. Again, after some time, the father called. He had a doubt about his son's education. The son is not getting proper education. Again, he was called and he found, no, the boy is same. He is giving big sermon to father himself. At last, he got so angry, he pushed the child from his lap and said, kill this fellow. He is going to ruin. If a limb is going to ruin the whole body, it's better to cut off that, amputate that limb. If it is cancerous, amputate it. So if this boy is going to be a disgrace to our clan, for the demon's clan, so you get rid of him. So he was tortured. But every time, Prahalada was so much immersed in God that nothing could happen. Nothing could. He was put in fire. He was made, the elephants were made to walk on him. But the Lord protected him constantly. This is the greatness about God's mercy. One who is devoted to him, God always protects. And finally, the third time when he was called and nothing could happen, at last the father became desperate and he said, what is the source of your strength that is making you to talk like this? Just even if I once, become angry, the world trembles at me. And how bold you are. What is the source of your strength that you can humiliate me, your father? And he says, it is the same strength on which you are strong. It's the Lord's strength alone. That's the only source of strength. You are also strong in his strength. Apart from him, you have no strength. The Lord, all-pervading Lord. He is the source of our strength. Huh? All-pervading Lord. You fool. Is your Lord in this pillar? There was a pillar right in front. Is he there? Yes, he is in that pillar too. God is even in the pillar. An inanimate object. Even in that, consciousness is there. Divinity is there. Yes. And he got so angry, he took his mace and gave one blow. Made a tremendous sound. Even everybody was shaken, as if it was going, a earthquake is going to happen. And then, just to make the devotee's word true, whatever a devotee speaks is true, because devotee is established in God, who is truth itself. Satya Swarupa, Satya Sankalpa Bhagavan. God is truth itself. And a devotee of God is established in God, means he is established in truth. And whatever he says cannot become false. If he says God is there in that pillar, God has to manifest. And he does. He did manifest as a man lion. Because this fellow was immune to everything. No animals can kill, no human being can kill, no one can kill me in the daytime, no one at night, inside or outside. So God, and no weapon. So he came in the form of half lion, half man, with sharp claws like this, pounced on him and just dragged him where? To the threshold. Not inside the house, not outside. It was twilight, not night, not morning, evening, inside, outside. Not a human being, not an animal. No weapon. With his claws, tore open him, killed him. And the Lord was so, in a lion, the manifestation is very fierce. And after killing Hiranyakashipu, all the other demons who were there, wicked ones, he started attacking them. And gods and the rishis, everybody got frightened. All got frightened. How to pacify this divinity, which is so fierce now. Even Lakshmi, that divine consort of Narayana, was afraid to go. Oh, he's so terrible. I can't go. They're so angry. Only one person was there who could pacify him. That was the devotee Prahalada, the child who had gone through all the suffering just because he loved God. Just because he loved God, all the suffering he had to go through, the pain. And when that child, even the creator Brahma says, my child, you go, keeping him in front, the gods go. You go to closer to him. And the little Narayan, just imagines little Prahalada, 5, 6 years old, small boy with folded hands, he is going to that fierce looking God. Half man, half lion. He's seated on the throne. He goes and prostrates. When he touches the feet of the Lord, his devotion, his sweetness just cools God. And the Lord lifts the boy and takes him on his lap. And he has become a lion, half. And how does a lion love you? Licks. He starts licking. He's licking Prahlada's hands and all that. And Prahlada bows down to him, and then he sings his glory, greatness. Oh Lord, you have done good to the world by killing my father. And then all the divinities praise everything, and Prahlada to praise. And then the Lord was so overpowered by his love. And the Lord asked him, ask a boon of me, Prahlada. Ask whatever you want. You know what the boy says? What a beautiful prayer. That deathless love which the ignorant have for the fleeting object of the senses, as I keep meditating on thee, may not that love slip away from my heart. See, what a beautiful prayer. He's not asking any boon. That deathless love, which the ignorant have for the fleeting objects of the senses. As I keep meditating on thee, may not that love slip away from my heart. Just as a worldly man has love for his worldly objects, may I have that love, that intensity of love towards you. May that love never slip away from my heart. May I always have that love. This is the great teaching of Bhagavatam. What to ask to God. Never love God for anything. Not for health, not for wealth, not for progeny, not for anything, not for what do you call mortality, nothing. Just for God's love for love's sake. We do not know how much we will be able to do it, but at least we get the idea that prayers have to be unselfish. That is the true prayer. Of course, God says, Chaturvida, all the 4 types of devotees are there, who are stressed, who want wealth, who want knowledge, who want devotion. It doesn't matter, but we should not get stuck to it. Charai vitti, go ahead, go ahead. The immediate needs are finished. Okay. Go ahead now. When everything is good with us, at that time, if we don't call on God, at that time, if we don't think of our divinity and strengthen our devotion and our conviction, how are we going to face when the danger comes? When the danger comes or difficulties comes, we are overwhelmed by the emotions, stress. We don't have strength to even pray. When everything is good with us, when everything is well with us, at that time, if we love God, remember Him, pray to Him, cultivate devotion, and follow the paths of knowledge and strengthen our conviction that we are spirit blessed eternal, not this psychophysical organism. If these ideas, when everything is good with us, when we cultivate, this will help us in the time of our crisis. If not, it will never help us. That is why in the Chandi, he says, when Durge smrita harasi bhitin ashesha janto, swasthai smrita matimativa shubham dadasi. When we are stressed, when we are in difficulty, oh Mother Durga, when we pray to you, you come and protect us. But when everything is good with us, when we are in happy mood, when we love you, when we pray to you, when we meditate on you, when we rely on you, when we ponder about our mutual relationship with you, at that time, you give us right understanding. Right understanding comes generally when everything is good with us. But when something goes wrong with us, our reasonings doesn't function. When we are, what do you call, infatuated. The reason is the first one which takes flee, goes off. We become stupid, utter stupid. We don't know what we are talking. That's how it works. But if we had nurtured this knowledge and devotion, when everything was good with us, when everything is good with us, then these will come at the time of our crisis. We save the money and keep in the bank. When there's an economic crisis, when there's a recession, we can rely on that. Yes, eat and enjoy and spend all the money. And what will you do later on? It's common sense. It's a simple example. We keep for the future, for the times of difficult. So this is how. When everything is good with us, it's that time. Not when we are suffering, we should go to temple and ask and pray. Nobody will do. You never cared for me. Do you think I should care for you? God will say. Won't tell, but it's the idea. Anyway, coming back to Sri Ramakrishna, because it was so beautiful. We don't get chance of speaking about Bhagavatam here in this hall. That is why I took my chance. Anyway, after the performance, Girish conducted Sri Ramakrishna to his private room in the theater. He said to the master, this is a very fun. Would you like to see the, what is it, farce, F-A-R-C-E, farce? farce. Vivaha Vibhrat, the confusion of marriage. See from where he is bringing it to the Sri Ramakrishna. Oh no, why something like that after the life of Prahalada? I once said to a leader of a theatrical troupe, end your performance with some religious talk. We have been listening to such wonderful spiritual conversation, and now to see the confusion of marriage, a worldly topic. We should become our old selves again. We should return to our old mood. So that's what happens. Little bit of devotion, again back to our, and which we are very comfortable. Girish, how did you like the performance? Master. Oh, I found that it was God himself who was acting the different parts. Those who played the female parts seemed to me the direct embodiments of the divine, blissful mother. And the cowherd boys of Gokula, the embodiments of Narayana himself. It was God alone who had become all this. There are signs by which you can know whether a man has truly seen God. One of this is joy. There is no hesitancy in him. He is like the ocean. The waves and sounds are all on the surface. Below are profound depths. The man who has seen God behaves sometimes like a madman, sometimes like a ghoul, without any feeling of purity or impurity, sometimes like an inert thing, remaining speechless because he sees God within and without, sometimes like a child without any attachment, wandering about unconcerned with his cloth under his arm. Kids do that. Again, in the mood of a child, he acts in different ways, sometimes like a boy indulging in frivolity, sometimes like a young man working and teaching with the strength of a lion. Man cannot see God on account of his ego. You cannot see the sun when a cloud rises in the sky. But that doesn't mean that there is no sun. The sun is there, just the same. But there is no harm in the ego of a child. On the contrary, this ego is helpful. See, to have the idea that I am the devotee of God, I am the child of God. What can harm me? I am protected. Whether I know it or not, I am protected. So this sort of conviction, we have to constantly make it a strong conviction. Remember these ideas and again ponder on it, and then it will become a conviction. And that conviction, when it ripens, will become the reality. Imagination will become convictions, and convictions will become the reality. And people do that, isn't it? They see all these video games and all, and they do go and kill people. Why? In the head, the same thing is there. And that's how they do all these crimes. If that can happen, why not this? Why can't we think something positive? Why can't we think that we are the children of God? God is in me. God will help me always. Nothing can happen to me. I'm protected by God. So these sort of positive ideas, if we cultivate, remember, and nurture these ideas and make it a conviction, in time, this conviction will ripe into realization. Our thoughts are what has made us. So it's good to have this type of conviction, this ego. Greens are bad for the stomach. Spinach are sometimes not good for stomach, he says. It's a Bengali stomach. In Bengal, people have got very bad stomach. That water is not good. Water of Bengal is not at all good. Any healthy person will have stomach problem. And the air also not good. They don't. Even a person like Totapuri had stomach trouble. You remember? He was from Punjab, very strong, northwestern part of India is very good. Climatic condition is good, pure water they get, and very strong people are. Even such a strong person like Totapuri, when he came to Bengal, he lost his health. He got dysentery. Can you imagine? Such a strong, his health broke. So that's why Sri Ramakrishna is telling about the spinach are bad, but they are actually not so. Anyway, but hinche is good. But there is a spinach called as hinche, I believe. So I haven't seen. I was there almost 14 years in Bengal. I never ate this hinche. Anyway, hinche is good. And so it cannot be called greens. Likewise, sugar candy. cannot be classified as with other sweets. Other sweets are injurious to the health, but sugar candy is not. Especially who have acidity, we used to take in Bengal, after if you stay 1 year, next year you will have acidity. No problem, you will get it. So the best medicine was, we used to early morning, we used to soak sugar candy, and empty stomach we used to drink just a little bit. So that used to help. So that I know it's true. Ramakrishna, what he's saying is, I have experienced it. So I said to Keshav, if I tell you more, I have already said, you won't be able to keep your organization together. That frightened him. Then I said to him, there is no harm in the ego of child or the ego of servant. So here Sri Ramakrishna was talking about to Keshav Chandra Sen, that the idea that I am Keshav, I am doing this, is it delusion. You are the pure spirit, a karta, non-doer. You are infinite. So such ideas come, who will do the organization? I am infinite, I am actionless. So I will sit in the meditation. Who will do the action? And when Sri Ramakrishna says, the person who listens to him, if he has some sort of preparation, mental preparation, or some little bit slightest evolution if he has, when Sri Ramakrishna tells something, it becomes a matter of experience. 100 times if I tell you also, nothing will happen to you, because I myself don't have those realizations. But with Sri Ramakrishna was not that. With Sri Ramakrishna, whatever he said, he could give in experience, provided the receiver had the ability to get it. What I'm saying is from the point of giver. He could give the experience. Only people who could keep it, bear it, could do. Like for example, Mathurnath. Mathurnath wanted to have the experience. Sri Ramakrishna said, don't go for all those things. You are serving me, that's fine. In time, everything will happen. No, no, no. Oh, so many people are having such nice experiences. I am deprived of it. Okay. Sri Ramakrishna said, if that be mother's wish, may you have it. And he did have spiritual experiences, and he found he's not able to concentrate on his business. Then he came back to, Father, keep your experiences to yourself. It's too much for me. You see, it needs a certain degree of purity in order to hold spiritual experiences. Spiritual experiences are also like ghosts. When they come, they will sit on you. But we should have that capacity to digest them. That comes through purity. So if we make the preparation, and when the grace comes, when the experience comes, we will be able to handle it. If not, we won't be able to handle it. Either this will go, or the experience will go back. Unfit persons. And nature also will not give. It will not throw pearls in front of swines. So we have to prepare for it. And in time, the grace will come, the experiences will come. And we have to prepare when everything is good with us, and everything is fine with us. At that time, we have to think on, we have to reason Vedantic reasons and pray to God for devotion strength. Then our spiritual life will truly be real. If not, it will be unreal. It will not have any transforming strength in it. Thank you.
As we're in school holidays, there's no yoga class this Thursday. Should be recommencing on Thursday, the 2nd of May. We have this coming Friday night, the spiritual evening discussion that will be led by Gayatri Pranaji. Gayatri Pranaji, by the way, at the moment is in Melbourne. She arrived there yesterday, gave a talk last night, will give a talk tonight, and she'll be back in Sydney tomorrow. Next Sunday, the topic for Gayatri Pranaji's talk is Prerequisites for Spiritual Life, Part 1. Now we'll conclude with a guided meditation. I'll be conducting a guided meditation on 1880. not this, kind of tapping into ancient Vedic philosophy. So just give me a few moments to get set up with that.